said it yesterday. Dibs doesn't believe me. I wanted FP to say it because he's closer to the Giants organization than any of us. Trying to tell everybody, and this isn't like, I'm not even rendering an opinion here because it's too early to have that opinion. I'm telling you right now that it is July 11th, and there are 17 games to go before the trade deadline, and the Giants better do something with those games, or else I'm telling you, if this thing ends up with 70-something wins, that is not going to land well for many people in that organization. That is not that's not my opinion. That's my understanding.
Try 9, I believe.
9?
9 games.
9?
9 games until the trade deadline. I
Really?
believe, yeah.
I thought it ended of July, right?
Yeah, but today's the 11th.
Oh, you're right. The All-Star break.
There's the All-Star break.
There's the All-Star break.
So I think there's 9 games left after
Whatever
today.
Whatever it is.
But yeah, the big question for the Giants is what do you do? Do you buy? Do you sell? I think if you buy, you have to buy with the idea that you're buying for next year too. So like, go get somebody. If you're going to go get somebody who has some contractual control. 3 guys that have 2 years left of contractual control that to me are all out there, would all be good Giants. He named one of them, Jazz Chisholm.
Yep.
I think he'd be nice. Andrew Vaughn, who went to Cal, plays first base for the White Sox. He's got 2 years of control left. And Randy Arozarena for Tampa, who's, very good outfielder, does it in October. He's got 2 years of control left on his deal. So, I mean, if Farhan makes a deal, I'd rather see him sell than buy because I think that they're not really a contender for a World Series this year. But if they did a little bit of both and got whatever they bought, were not like a Chris Bryant, who's a free agent at the end of the year, but somebody who's they actually could own for 24 and 25 and 26, something like that. I think that's the route to go. And Andrew Vaughn, you put a line drive hitter like Andrew Vaughn in the Giant lineup, I think that would help them dramatically.
By the way, it's 16 games between now and the end of the month. So neither of us had the right number. But yeah, they got the 3 this weekend, and then the All-Star break, and then they're in Colorado and L.A. for what will be 7 games, and then they come home for 4 with Colorado and sneak in 2 with the A's to finish out the month of July.
I stand corrected.
So do I. I said 18. It's not 18 and it's 9, but it is in between those 2.
There you go.
So we've got it covered.
We were wrong, but then we were right.
We crushed it. So anyway, yeah, I'm always with you on the idea that you just threw out there of like buy and sell. I actually think that's low-key the answer every deadline now, especially with the 3 wildcard teams where so many teams are still within a stone's throw. I know that's not a popular answer, but every deal should be evaluated on its own merits. And I would argue that every year there is the potential that the right thing to do is sell and buy with specific deals. Like those of you who want to sell, this is going to sound like a silly thing to say. Austin Slater, that was a sell. That was a sell. That's a veteran player who's going to be a free agent, who the team decided he's not really in our plans, so we're going to move him for a piece that comes back to us in the minor leagues. That is the definition of a sell, as what the Giants just did. Now, there's other pieces to it as well. It is clearing space for Luis Matos so that Matos over the next 2 weeks can show the Giants what he's all about. Can he hold down those positions? Can Yaz and Conforto hold down those positions? Because if they can't, they might be in the market for a corner outfielder at the end of the month. So I get that there's other pieces to the puzzle, but yeah, they might buy and sell.
It's an interesting thing. Their big question is shortstop, and then the question is Luciano a shortstop? Or is he not a shortstop? Is Wisely good enough for the year? Obviously, they DFA'd Nick Ahmed, so they're probably getting ready to either waive him or trade him in the next couple days. But yeah, to me, it's all about creating room. So if you move a Robbie Ray or a Blake Snell because you want to promote Carson Wisenhunt, I kind of like that kid the kid Birdsong who looks like he's going to shave in 2028. that guy.
Yeah, that face, I swear to God, you could transfer it to Dib's 2-year-old and you wouldn't tell the difference.
I mean,
swear to God, he looks 12 years old.
He's a unique looking guy. But he's very young looking. But I mean, between Black and Birdsong, and they've got Wisenhunt. I remember last year in a show that we had, I think I was either sitting in for Dibs or for you, we had Farhan on. And I asked him about Wisenhunt and his 2 pitches, his killer change, and his fastball. And he described it as a Bugs Bunny, pull the string kind of a changeup. And so Wisenhunt, could be up. And if you want to move, a veteran starting pitcher because you want to create room for Birdsong and Wisenhunt and go young in the rotation the rest of the year, I could see that too. That could be very attractive. Then there's another one I saw in the last 24 hours. A lot of talk out of New York that the Yankees are getting nothing out of third base and may want to trade for Matt Chapman.
I've seen that all year long.
I'd be interested in that too if you could get decent, because there's other players you could get. I mean, there's also talk that the Pirates may want to ship Cabrian Hayes. I like Cabrian Hayes, Charlie Hayes' kid, young player, not having a good year, having some back problems right now, but he's a good, excellent defensive third baseman.
Here's my concern. My concern is that, as we just detailed, the Giants will be potentially making decisions on things that are actually not just about baseball and contention this year. I don't blame him for this. He's a human being, the same way I don't blame LeBron for creating a path for his son. At the end of every day, it's very difficult for human beings to not think about themselves. It just is. I know we want everybody to just be just fair every single day for all the people. It's not really reality, and here's what I'm getting at. There could very well be a situation that develops where not going all in on this year, that would not be the right thing to do, to go all in on this year.
Sell your prospects.
But he will. Because he needs to go all in on this year.
You're saying Farhan.
Farhan.
Yeah.
Farhan.
And by the way, you asked the question, and I know you know the answer, but
yes,
you asked the question, are they tied together? You know, and I know you know this, that Farhan and Melvin are contractually linked up.
They're contractually linked.
So they have the same number of years.
Meaning the same number of years. Yes.
But I think the prevailing wisdom around the Giant franchise is if the Giants miss the playoffs this year, and this would be 6 times in 7 years that they've missed the playoffs under Farhan's leadership, that they may pull the plug on Farhan Zaidi and stay with Melvin and go in a different direction in the front office. I don't know that. I have no sources, but I've heard that whispered.
I think the heat is on. That's what I think.
Little Glenn Fry.
The heat is on, and it is not on Bob Melvin.
Little Beverly Hills Cop there.
Whatever, the heat
is on.
All right. You can react to that. We'll get back to the phones. Dennis, you'll be first up. 888-956.